What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we're heading up the Confluence with Oziel. So the Confluence has always been an interesting map due to the way that it sort of forks around, and you really have about 4 entrances to your rift. The first being the front side of each ship area, and then the rear entrances. The rear entrances always seem to be a bit slow, but using at least one of them generally gives you a good amount of time to deal with the other side. So I generally like to make the left side path around to the rear and then fight everybody else somewhere around the right shipyard. It just gives you a good amount of time to deal with whatever is going to be coming out, as well as letting you use the area in front of this particular Guardian location very effectively. And I generally do that by using swinging maces. You can use lightning rods or probably haymakers too. You might even score some environmental kills if you can fling them outside. But I generally like to go with the damage route because as far as survival goes, sustained damage is more even-handed at dealing with enemies. Like you'll generally always deal about the same amount of damage to everything. It's easily repeatable. With physics stuff, it's like you'll kill some stuff, but what survives is really going to be based on the timing, and the placement is going to have to be very specific. So I don't know. Let's see, that is good. Actually, do I still have... Yeah, so this is something that I generally do for Chaos Trials with the Confluence. Sometimes you'll get extra cost on your floor traps. Because of that, I tend to use less of them, and had a very interesting setup here, but we're not going with that today. What will we use? There are some decent places to put bowling balls. And we should probably use at least grinders or wall blades as well. No, I should probably take Spitfire. Okay. So there's a lot of decent ceiling space, and then there's also a lot of wall space that you get to use on this map if you actually do want to set it up that way. BGH Ballista is pretty much only for bosses. I don't think you need ceilings for much else, and there's not too many that actually allow you to put large things on them, so I think this should be good to go through. We're using Oziel here. I probably should drop the Priest, and we can either take a Guardian for the rear, or we can take, let's see, Deckhand or Rum Rudder. Deckhand is always good for the additional combos. Rum Rudder gets you pickups. We'll do Rum Rudder. All right, let's go ahead and get this started.
I love the smell of death in the morning.
All right. So, left gate is always the first one to open here. Some people usually just route them around here to begin with. What I generally like to do is to make sure that they are going to path this way. Block here, because it should be noticed that if you try to block the stairs here, this little corner here, they can still path through. This is actually one of the methods for grouping enemies in one of the weekly challenges that uses this stage, just to force them into that area, just because you don't have slows, so because of it you bottleneck them instead. But yeah, that sufficiently blocks them from being able to go that way. You block this so that they don't pass back through here and make it a shortcut, and then they have to go all the way back here again. So to deal with that, we add a couple of swinging maces, and and we slow them as they pass over it. Is that about right? Yeah, that's right. Do I have enough space for... Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like everything should be good. I'm not using short-range wall traps, but if I wanted to, what I could do is something like this.
Is this what I'm reduced to?
And this. If I do that, however, what we'll want to do is... Let's try it that way. This, I don't like using the barricades here because they can get destroyed. And these notches right here basically prevent you from putting swinging maces there. However, if you do choose to do that, if you bring shorter ceiling traps, you can place them here, and then you'll be able to use the bowling ball right there. But we'll have some uses for the bowling ball regardless. I just particularly like this.
I will reap them.
Now you'll notice eventually that this will hit them coming and going, which is really the goal. And I guess we'll set up a rum rudder here. Ooh, that was shiny. Very shiny. Huh, I like the pattern they have on the sword. Like, there's so much detail in the models for this game that they're a joy to look at sometimes. I mean, except for maybe his mouth. That looks a little creepy. Ooh, that was a ton of items. And the good thing about placing a guardian right in front of some traps is that anything that gets stuck and slowed fighting him will basically get wrecked. Now, can I? Yeah, you can. Alright. Alright, we're already level 2. This is working out way better than it should. Alright. We're going to drop... Ooh.
Unstable rift is opening. Quick, destroy it. We have destroyed the unstable rift.
Alright, I like to toss the jars directly on top of the tar trap with your primary attack or some assistance from your guardian buddy there. You should be doing pretty well as far as just making sure that things die and you get some combo points. Okay, last one of these, and after this wave we actually start to get place. We actually get to place some damage traps on the ground. Of course, we're going to do that. So you can see we're kind of drawing a line of death here. They probably could be moved back just a bit. Actually, I should move this up just a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. As long as we have room to place the other slows in front of Rum Rudder, we'll be okay. It's really what I'm worried about more than anything else. So, here we go. And this setup will be really strong, just based off of the strength. Jeez, he gives you a ton of pickups. I rarely actually stay around and see how many pickups he is going to give you. And you can see the explosive guys coming through, which is basically why I didn't want to set up the barricades there. Nope. Whoa. Okay. Oh, he still hit me. Alright, there you go. I'm gonna grab Jagged Shards. I so do not care about the fact that the boss is gonna be here. Oh. That coin reduction was a little late, so we'll put the other ballista up. And there we go. This area is basically foolproof now, but we're going to probably leave that there. Use the rest of the coin that we get from this to... I should probably move that forward a bit. Alright, so we're going to sell this and move it forward like a half space. So like right there. Jeez, fighting at this guy is like super easy. It's like having a free stink eye on your team. Except you also get Unchained and other stuff. Who are you firing at, dude? Okay, 3,000 probably not enough. Let me sell that. I'm gonna take as much coin over here as we can. We probably don't even need those rear swinging maces, but I'm a little reluctant to sell those for when the heavier guys come. We are going to head over here, block this now.
More than one way to skin a mole.
Okay. And then the last thing we're gonna do is just drop us Guardian here. Might as well make it another rum rudder.
They're breaking through again.
Is this what I'm reduced to? Setting traps.
Okay.
They've broken through a gate.
Alright. For this area, you're probably gonna want to come over here and just set everybody on fire until you get to the point where you're actually comfortable doing something else. The main thing is because there's sometimes going to be guys that try to path over here, and it's really not a good thing for your par to have the lane split. Of course, that area that you saw me jump over back there earlier, if you want to intercept them, you can sort of just hop back there and do it that way. They won't be able to go into the rift, and I don't believe they have any sappers that are able to destroy barricades, so they pretty much just eat time by taking that extra trip back there. However, it also will force the third gate to have to path around here for you, which is nice. Now you can absolutely, there we go.
Don't say I never did anything helpful.
We go home.
Whoa.
Our barricades are under attack.
Boom.
Watch out! An unstable rift.
They will
is
do
opening.
that sometimes.
Get to it
Okay.
and destroy it.
More than one way to skin a mole.
Okay, where that is, I'm gonna have to hop back here. There we go.
To set you up for a
Well done. The unstable rift is
Gonna use the speed pad to go around this way just to make sure if anything happens to leak that we're here to catch it. And that was pretty much what I expected. Now, I could have foregone the bowling balls and the fire as I've set them up out here right now, and just went for basically something that would have been a bit more effective here, like the swinging maces, but I decided not to do that early since I'm going to basically be babysitting this area for a bit. We're going to grab Vexing Surge, more souls. Okay, he's out here, so we're going to try to bait the bear, a good old buggy bear, if he will actually come out. Come on, bear buddy. Nope, he still is not coming out. I'm not sure if he can actually pass between the lanes by going inside there or not, so we'll see. He's probably going to come out with the rear of the line. And that's going to hit me, yeah, even though I can't see it anymore. Nope. Whoa, oh, that died. Alright. What in the world? That red dot that like flew into my rift and flew out.
Barricades are under attack.
That's the bear.
Barricades are under attack.
And now he's dead. Okay. It's about what I expected, but still. Such a waste of time.
Watch out! Our enemies have broken through again.
Alright, so now the majority of that should basically be taken care of. I'll need a slow right in front of that floor scorcher, but I should be alright. Mainly because of the inability of those guys to not walk in a straight line.
They've broken through a gate.
foolish mortal.
Oziel's just as happy about that as I am. Nope, I missed. Alright. Okay, last place that we want to slow him is probably about right there. We can add another one of these, and we almost have enough for the other slow back here. These guys are basically just going to eat up time. You can hop back here and burn as many of them as you can. What are you doing? And then after the fire kind of wears off, you just cast it again. And you're great. Gonna grab ectoplasmic explosion now, and we should pretty much be set for life. The firewall bracers is pretty much a completely OP counter for those guys if you're playing solo. Alright, now we have the other side opening up again. As I said before, the swinging maces over there are going to be ludicrously obscene at just taking these guys out. It's so easy. As long as you don't wind up in a chaos trial where they have physical armor or something, it's still a really good choice. Man, that guy was really hardy. Some lightning for you. And we're just gonna swim through the air like some giant purple shark. And throw some more jars of happy little souls.
An unstable rift is opening. Destroy it.
Oh, how convenient.
And our heroes destroyed the unstable rift, and there was much rejoicing.
Most of these guys are basically just going to walk to their doom now. We don't have to do much else, if anything. Best place to do this would probably be something like right here. And we could place another one of these. And then murder whoever tries to go back here. I missed that. Alright, one will get to go back. Oh, there's a lot of them back there. Okay, I probably should have just jumped in. Alright. So, time's looking still a little tight. I had a lot of it wasted with the guys going to the rear there on a couple of the earlier waves. I could stand to use some traps back here. We're just gonna cook him.
The boss minion has entered the battlefield.
Alright, our boss here should be an Urza. And Oziel does a ton of damage. Watch out for the firelings whenever you're dealing with Urza. He launches 4 now, and they happen to all hit you. It's a lot of damage taken. Alright, so we got 2 waves to do in 2.5 minutes. Because the front areas are now pretty much automated, the only thing that you'll want to worry about is clear time. The left side, as we have seen, is pretty much taken care of because of swinging maces. Now, if you wanted this to be a bit quicker, I probably should have taken not this and used some more ceiling ballista. They could have gone along the ceiling here and on the other side of the map as well. It would have helped pick up some of the bigger targets. They also can be placed around the corner here. and not having anything on the walls back here is pretty much one of the biggest issues that I have with trying to get through this quickly. Yeah, you're dead. Their boss is Ticklick. He's gonna die, mainly just due to the BGH ballista that are on the left side. They should pretty much just take him out alone. He doesn't have a lot of HP, he just steals it back by attacking, so.
It is good, but it is not enough.
Alright, so we're gonna get pincered back here
The boss
by.
is down.
Yep, there's the BGH ballistas doing their job. Wow, primary attack's heavy enough to kill medium orcs now. Oh. There we go. Oh, no you don't. One of the best things about the firewall bracers is just how consistent it is. What? Oh gosh, are you a... Yep.
Pretend I'm feeling joy.
So the firewall bracers are really good at cleaning up runners because as soon as the length of time that the wall itself lasts expires, you can cast it again. So as long as you're behind the wave of runners, you can basically just keep throwing it down and it will continue to cook them, which is great. Okay, so that is going to be the Confluence. If I didn't have the firewall bracers, then I basically would have had to reserve the jar almost exclusively for runners when they were going to be showing up, and that would have probably gotten a bit tedious. Also, better use of some alternate ceiling traps rather than using the arcane bowling ball probably would have been good, just because I wasn't hugging as many walls as I could have with that setup. But we're going to be moving on to Frostbite Fortress next, and that probably means we'll see extensive use of fire traps, but that will be for the next video either way. Thanks for tuning in as always, guys. I sincerely appreciate it, and until next time, have a good one, folks.